Welcome to the Mind Pub podcast. Yay! I have a very fucking amazing human being with me here today, Amanda. Hi.
Woo! It's so good to be here with you. You have the best energy of anyone I've ever met. You're like you're like Muppet energy. You're come on the stage and you're like, "Yes, everything's awesome." Like we're here. And at the same time, you're like so honest about the things that are hard for you that it's like, how can anyone not love you? It's perfect.
Aw, how you doing today? How was your weekend, Amanda? Did you do anything fun?
I went to a funeral this weekend.
Oh
So that's like a bummer of an answer, but an honest one. So
yeah.
it was a funeral for my great aunt who was 96, and so it was really a celebration of her life. So it was one of
Yes.
these funerals that was really like honoring her as opposed to like, oh my God, this person was taken too soon because, you know, it was really like a best case scenario, right? Like she lived
Yeah.
until she was 96. So it was beautiful, it was emotional, it was a lot.
Oh wow. That how did that experience make you feel though?
Oh, it was really intense. It was really overwhelming because, like, she was a Holocaust survivor, and she's one of the
Oh.
last living. She was one of the last living Holocaust survivors. There are very few left, and so you know everything is sort of seen through this lens of like horror and like murder and trauma and like how they came through it. And so it's this uplifting story, but it's also this like it's just so we went as it always is with you, go straight to the deep, right? Like it's it's just like it brings up a lot of like generational trauma and fear and also love and like awe and gratitude and all of those things. Just felt everything yesterday.
Oh wow. Thank you. Thank you for honoring how you felt. I know that must have been a lot to navigate, but I just really appreciate your honesty in this moment.
Yeah, I could have said
Um,
it was great. My kids dressed up for Halloween. We did K-pop Demon Hunters. That's one side of the story. The other side of it is, of course, like yeah, I like kind of walked through walked on a very heavy path yesterday, and now we're back talking about like really fun stuff. And that's like that's the mix of life, right? We do all of the
yeah,
things together. We experience pain along with joy, and we can see both. I think the real challenge and gift of life is to feel both of those things at the same time. To be grateful that this person was in our life, and also to be like
yeah,
wrecked that they were taken apart, or like for the things that they went through and their pains and their joys and all of those things.
yeah. Speaking of fun stuff, I heard so many fun stuff about K-pop. What exactly stands out to you about the series?
Oh my God, it's such fun. It's very joyful. It's really for everyone. I know people think like, oh, it's just for like parents or kids or whatever, but there's did you ever see Frozen?
Of course, Olaf was
So
my favorite.
okay, so K-pop Demon Hunters is Korean Frozen.
Oh
So you should
wow!
check it out. It's a
It-
lot of the
li-
same themes.
oh,
It's
for real?
silly, it's weird, it's very weird. It's delightfully weird and funny and has great music and like fun dancing. So I would check it out. It's one of these things where like I've put it on for people and they're like, I don't need to watch this. And then like an hour and a half later, they have not moved from the couch. They're like, I need to see this all the way through. So I think you would really love it, and I think you'd actually really like the themes of it because it's a lot about shame and like looking at the inner demon, like looking at
Yes.
the things that we try to hide about ourselves and how like it's very Frozen, but like trying to hide a part of you is ultimately going to poison you, and then like you're gonna have an explosion, which Elsa of
Yes.
course has, and the main character in K-pop has. And what do you do when that happens? Like, how do you handle it? How do you come back around? How do you tell your friends?
Wow. Okay. Now that you frame it that way, I will definitely check it out and be open and curious and see where that experience leads me. And is there any other thing you do for fun? I'm actually very curious to know.
What do I do for fun?
Yes,
Oh,
Amanda. What does Amanda
I
do for fun?
I love exercise so
Oh,
much. And actually, another emotional thing from yesterday is that it was the New York City Marathon.
I heard.
And I live like right in the heart of it. So, like, I live right by the finish
Oh.
line. And so it's like, just like literally streams, like rivers of people who like finish the race. And there's all kinds of celebrations around. People wear their medals and like there's parties
Mm.
around. Now, for me, I ran the marathon in 2019. It was like one of my peaks. It was so joyful. I was so grateful to be there. I loved even though it hurt like hell, I loved it so much. And I loved the training of it. And like, I loved it so much. And then I've been injured for many years and I've been coming back from it. But like, the most I can run right now is 3 miles. The
Oh,
marathon is
wow.
26. So like, yeah, like clap, but I'm also
That's
like,
amazing, girl. I can't even run a mile
but
right now.
yeah, so like it's all about perspective, right? Because for me, I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, 3 miles, like, ugh. But I have like a very strong mix of like jealousy and like anger, but also like, yay, go you. It's just like very complicated, like cauldron of emotions that I have around marathon day. So, but for fun, it's like running, cycling. Like I went to the gym this morning. Like it's yoga, all of it. I love it so much. I love getting strong. I love getting fit. It keeps me sane and makes me happy, like in all the ways.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yes.
And I know you feel
That.
that way too.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Absolutely. That actually leads me to my next question. I would love to know from Amanda's perspective, what does it mean to be a human without condition?
What do you mean without condition?
Just what does it mean to be human, like to you? Like how, let's just say you are given a permission slip today, so Amanda, today I want you to be a human being without no limits, just be for the next 24 hours. How will that day look like to you? Describe it for us.
Well, I think that one thing that I try to do all the time is try to understand that. And look, I live in Manhattan. I'm around people all the time. I'm around angry people. I'm around like mentally unwell people. I'm around happy people, or I'm around kids. I'm around everyone because you get on the train and you're like instantly surrounded by 100 people, 200.
Yeah.
And just trying to remember all the time that I'm not the main character, right? And that everyone is having their own day and everyone has their own story. So if somebody like cuts me off, or if somebody like curses at me, or if somebody yells at me, or um, like if you just think about like another person's perspective, like really think about it, like you can't be mad at another person. You really can't. Like if you really, really, really understand their struggles, where they're coming from, and like their pains and their hurts and their what they're worried about, you'd give them a hug. You'd give everybody a hug if you really, really, really understood that. So I feel like, and this, like, I have to tell you this story because I think that you'll really, it really struck me, and I wonder if you'll find it the same way. So yesterday we were driving in this funeral procession, which is a really crazy thing now that everyone has GPS. This is really stupid. And everyone in my car was like, why are we doing this? This is so dumb. It's so dangerous. Like, you just drive in this like really long, dangerous line, like through traffic lights, and like you all need to make the same turn. And like everyone around you is mad because they can't cross the street or turn or whatever. And two cars got caught in front of us in the funeral procession. And one signaled to the left, and he kind of like waved. We thought that he was waving us forward, and we were like, oh, that's so nice. This guy is letting us rejoin the line. So we start to pass him on the left, which you would not normally do. And this guy, it turns out, was actually just turning left into a driveway. And he sees us coming, and he's like, fuck you, you fucking idiot. What are you doing? I put my signal on. And we're like, oh my God, we thought that you were signaling us. So it's just one of these things where it's like, first of all, it was really dangerous. And second, like, we had two completely different views of the same exact scenario. Like, here is a
Mm.
guy who's like, I'm going to turn left into this driveway, has no idea he's in a funeral procession, right? Like, I'm going to assume
Whoa.
he had no idea. He's just turning. He sees this person who's just like wildly cutting around him. And he's just like,
Right.
fuck you, you fucking fuck, right? We were like, oh, this man is doing us a kindness because we got cut off from these other people. And it's like, I feel like the more we can understand that that's happening all the time. That's happening all the time everywhere.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Oh
I'm
my.
seeing something with like my set of beliefs and like my whole story, and someone else has their whole story, and we might be seeing the exact same thing completely differently for valid reasons.
Yeah. Oh my God. Essentially, two truths are it's valid. Like every like your perspective and my perspective is still valid regardless of how you see it.
Yeah, and like the story that I could go to you and everyone the rest of the day and be like, this guy broke up the funeral procession and then he cursed
Right.
at us. Like, what an asshole. What an asshole. And this guy can go on his day and be like, I was just trying to turn left and this wild animal cut me off.
Yeah.
And he's also right, right? Or like, I could tell, I just feel like the stories we tell really matter. I could be like, hey, we really like startled and confused this man. And then he yelled at us.
Mm.
Or maybe this
Stories
guy is
matter.
like, I knew I was breaking up a funeral procession and I shouldn't have done it. There are like a million things that it could be. And so, like, when we tell these stories of like, this person hurt me or like this person angered me or whatever, you don't know what's happening in their life.
Yes.
And so,
Oh
like,
my
we
goodness.
got to take it less personally. I feel like I'm ranting at you.
No, you're not. Is trust me, girl. Like I love that you're sharing your perspective, and it's actually reinforcing in my mind like perspective is everything, and every one of us we seem like we're in the same space, but we're experiencing life from totally different perspective, and that doesn't invalidate the next person's feelings. It's just what it is. That's how our brain is choosing to interpret our realities. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for
So
sharing
when
that
you
story.
say, yeah, so when you say, like, what does it mean to be human? I think that's it. That we can choose to see and understand another person's perspective as being different from ours without being like that asshole.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. It
Thank you for
actually
giving
leads
me
me
the
to my
opportunity to share that. That just happened yesterday, and I'm telling you, I thought of you, and I was like, I thought that you would appreciate that this like totally innocent moment
Oh
like
yeah.
represents so much about how we misunderstand each other.
Yeah, we do. Oh, thank you. That actually leads me to my next question. I wanted to ask Amanda, how does Amanda how does compassion and kindness show up in Amanda's life every day, with yourself, with other people? How does that shape out?
Well, I think the place that I get to practice it the most is with my kids, right? Because
Right.
they're in my house and challenging me every day, right? Um, and, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and just like really understanding, and this goes back to what, I'm obviously working on all of these things. I think about all of these things a lot, that like what she is coming at me with, whatever it is, like this thing happened or this girl said this or I'm upset about this or that, is sort of like not taking it personally and not also seeing it as like my job to fix for her.
Sorry, I gotta get up and clap for you on that.
Which part's getting the applause? I'm curious.
Because you said something that I will speak from my journey. It took me a very long time to realize, but I learned the hard way that it's not my job to fix or save anyone. The only person I really have to save, in air quotes, is myself. And
That's
by
right.
really going deeper in myself to love all parts of myself unconditionally, I can hold space. I can hold space for the people I love, because sometimes the most compassionate thing we can do to the people we love is to just be there for them and realize that when they're ready for them to really start to do their own work, they will come to you, because I was a fixer in my life for a long time in my relationship. And I realized that it was creating more resistance, it was creating more, and again, it was also a limitation to my perception, because there's this thing that there's this beautiful quote from Ramdas. I don't know if you know who that is, a spiritual teacher, and it said,
Yes.
my perception of you is a reflection of me, my
Mhm.
reaction to you is an awareness of me. Amanda, every time I see you, I have to see an aspect of myself, which is unconditional love. If I see anything aside from that, I am doing myself a huge disservice, disempowering myself, and I'm also disempowering you. So if I see a victim in my partner, I am subconsciously telling myself I'm a victim, and that took me years to untangle and let go. And I just focused on myself, held space for love for him. There's nothing to fix in his life, and when he's ready, he would do his own, because he has all the answers. And like, I just wanted to applaud you that you have that mindset, because it took me a while to really embody that. So thank you.
Well, I think it's very, 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 capital V, very hard to do
Yeah.
because you just want to fix it. You just want to do it.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have to resist that all the time. And I didn't resist it for a long time. I did fix things quite a bit. And as my children are getting older, I see that like a little bit of the built-in helplessness, and I'm just like, this stops now, right? Like I've done them
Yes.
a disservice by doing that, but like, you know, you don't want to see anyone you love struggle. And so it
Yes.
feels like the loving thing to do is to fix it for them, but really the loving thing to do is to let them struggle in as safe a container
Yes.
as you can make it.
Yes.
And that's what I'm striving for. And I think that's like the real compassion. And I have to say that I think you have a particular gift of making the safest containers. You're like, you could be the container store, but like emotionally, in that, you know, there aren't very many people that like, within what is it, 90 seconds of this podcast, I'm like, yeah, I went to a funeral of like a Holocaust survivor in my family and it was really hard. It's like, and I feel like one of our first conversations was also like that. You're like, how are you doing? I'm like, actually really bad. And here's why. Like within moments of meeting you. So I think that you project safety in this really beautiful way. And I applaud you, and I'm so happy you're doing this podcast because I want your voice to be heard by everyone. I want you to reach as many people as possible so that you can like give them, they can feel your love from wherever they are.
Oh, thank you so much. Your words really warm my heart. I really fucking appreciate you. But most importantly, I do also want to say, like, you're a beautiful mirror of myself also. So that's why you feel it so much. So I truly mean it when I feel like there's really no separation between you and I see so many aspects of myself in you. So I love you. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. That actually leads me to my next question. I want us to play like an imaginary game. So me and Amanda are in a room right now, and 5-year-old Amanda walks in, and she grabs your arm. What would you tell her?
Oh my God. That's so, you write about this on LinkedIn and I think about it and it makes my heart like twist. And it's the kind of thing that I look away from because I'm like, I can't do that. But I'm gonna think about it now. And that is that I think I would teach her about like what shame is and how, because like I didn't learn about really what shame is until I was in my 30s, which feels way too late, way, way, way too late. So like that's another thing. One of the gifts of being a parent is that you can redo things, right? You can do things the way that you wish that they had been done. And so like, one thing I'm always telling my kids is like, of course, like you are enough, you're loved unconditionally, all of those things. But like when they're hard on themselves, it's not like, like my daughter's studying for a very hard exam right now to get into high school. And so like when she messes up or does poorly, like she can be really hard on herself. And I always tell her, I'm like, you are smart, you are capable, you can do this. Like, you also messed up on this question. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't affect who you are, right? And so, like, I've
Yes.
been telling her that now for 13 years. Like, you are who you are, and like, you make mistakes, and it doesn't affect who you are. And that's what I think that's the gift of being a parent, right? Because like, that's what I would say to myself at that age. Like, you are gonna make mistakes and you're gonna mess up, but it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're not enough. It doesn't mean that you're not
Yeah.
smart or not capable. Like, you can do all of the things, and like, the mistakes don't, even big mistakes, don't change that.
Yeah. Thank you. Right before we leave the imagination room, um, can you imagine yourself hugging her right now? Just give her like a tight hug and just kiss on her for like a few seconds.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea.
Um, that leads me to my last question. Um, we all have peaks and valleys in our lives, right? So when Amanda is in her valley, do you have any quotes that just really get you through to just keep going, that shifts your perspective that you would love to share?
Yeah, and I think a lot of women and people who listen to your podcast will probably relate to this, but especially living in New York, the answer to everything is always more, do more, um, go harder, take another hobby. Just the volume cannot stop being turned up, right? It's just like more and more and more and more and more and more. And when things are hard, I primarily remind myself that it's okay to stop. It's okay to do less. It's okay to slow down. Nothing's going to happen if I stop for a little bit. And just trying to resist that message of like, I should be productive right now. I should be, and I've learned this the hard way, right? Like, part of the reason that I'm injured for so many years after running is that my instinct is to always go harder. Like, I can push myself very, 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 very hard, which has served me well, but also doesn't serve me well, right? If I'm like burned out or if I keep injuring myself or whatever it is. So, like, just that's the thing that I'm working on the most. Just like being okay with doing less, going at a slower pace when things are hard.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate your ripple. Thank you. For every beautiful human being listening to this podcast right now, when it becomes dark, when it becomes stormy, remember to come back to compassion and kindness for yourself.